Hi, dear students. This is Dr. Sumer, and I thought I'll come back to you with a small message today on this video channel. And I think this message is of utmost value to most of us, all of us put together, all of us who are medical graduates and who are seeking to do more in life. This message works for everybody. Now, I'll tell you the background to this message. Now, before my class, a lot of students would come to me and they will ask me this question about, sir, how do I manage my time? How should I seem to have so much work to do. How should I manage my time? And second question that a lot of people would ask me is, sir, I have a friend who is a engineer or a arts graduate or a commerce graduate, and they seem to be having so much fun in life. They are watching TV series, they are traveling, and so on and so forth. So I said that I will answer this question of yours after my class. Okay. And in between, in between, we teach radiology, we discuss clinical case scenarios, and we do a lot of learning in between, so that the students actually forget about the original question that they had asked me. So once that question is done and we are like through with the teaching activity, I throw a question to the students and I ask them to reply to me via either a Instagram or my inbox or Telegram and tell me what matters most to you in life. This is one open-ended question I gave them, and I told them to respond to me on my social media handles. And by the time in the night, I got around 400 odd replies from students. And so let's look at the replies that we got from the students and how that comes up. So there were a lot of responses from the students, but I'll show you some of them. So the top responses immediately were, I want to become a MD in dermatology. I want satisfaction in life. My parents are means the most to me. MD radiology. Some of them had written obs and gynae. Some had written medicine. To be interviewed. To become a surgeon. Happiness, peace. To be best in the field was something that many had written, and to be independent was something that many had written. Okay. Now, if I now analyze the results, that there is nobody who had actually written, "I want to watch Netflix in my life." That means most to me. I want to, So there's like, I want to go to a restaurant. I want to have a drink. There's nobody mentioned it. So if I analyze them, I reanalyze those 400 responses, and after I had done with the analysis of the responses, I came to a conclusion that in total there were three predominant responses. One was career, and that was probably accepted because we are now talking about medical graduates. These are all high impact seeking individuals who want more in life. They want to become specialized doctors, so it was expected that career was on the top of the list. But other related things were not only career, they also wanted satisfaction, they wanted to be best in their field, they wanted happiness. All those things were there. But in between, you find mentions about parents, family. So, family is right at the top of the priority list. And then you also notice, about your own health. That means both the physical and the mental health. And people have talked about peace as well. So when I analyze them, I'm able to group those responses into three parts: relations, family, relations, health, careers. And that is the topmost priorities that the student have. Once we get to know our priorities, and it sounds very easy, but often in real life we never get time to analyze all this, because nobody actually puts this question to us, that what do you really want in life. Nobody puts it. And even if somebody puts it, we do not bother to answer. It has to be somebody that you trust, your mentor, your teacher, or your parent, where you can actually communicate and tell it and say that, this is what I really want in life. And I believe that pause in our lives also give us time to introspect, time to think about things. Now, let me give you an idea. That, right now, the entire world is in a lockdown kind of a scenario because of the pandemic. So that gives you time. That gives you time to look back, look inside, introspect, and find out what really matters to you. And you will find that what you were comparing with others, and you were comparing yourself with so many other people, and but actually speaking, when given a choice, you never wanted to become those, you never wanted to do all those activities which somehow you were feeling missing out on. Okay, so that is a part and parcel of being a doctor. When you are in a medical field, you know that it takes time to learn the skill, they learn the art. So it is, in between, you would actually miss out on some of the things that other people would be doing. But what you are gaining in return is actually massively much more than, the what you miss. So if I don't watch Game of Thrones, and I trust me, I don't watch it. I never watched any Game of Thrones, Money Heist. I've never seen any web series. But in return, what I've gained as a physician, as a doctor, is I've gained insight into what is happening in the human body when there is a disease, what happens when there's pancreatitis, what happens to the lungs when there is a viral pneumonia. So I've gotten those insights which are invaluable to me, and I feel so much more satisfied with my knowledge as a doctor, that okay, this is what is going on and I'm able to understand it. So that privilege you get as a physician, and this pause tells you what is important to you. And then I told the students that, now when you look at the responses that you've written, all those questions that you were asking me before the class about time management, about priorities, about others having fun and I'm not having fun, kind of solves itself. You never wanted it. You had a choice. You could have written anything on the paper. You could have written, I want to watch TV all my life. Nobody wrote it. I want to, just sit down and relax. Nobody wrote it. Nobody wants to do this. And you can again see there is always a balance in life between satisfaction and happiness. Satisfaction means that I'm happy the way I am. Happiness is slightly, I believe there is a difference between the two. Sometimes when we seek happiness, we seek it because we are not satisfied with the status quo. And that kind of it's not simple as we believe. And you will find later on in life, all the high achievers in life, all the painters, artists, all these innovators are somewhere unsatisfied, and that is where they end up creating things. So we saw all those kinds of responses in the students. Now we know that pause helps us, but how do we utilize this insight? Once we have insight into what is going on in our life, what we really want, how can we utilize it for time management? I feel the first and foremost message that you can have here is identify the clutter in your life. You need to identify what is it that you don't want to do. Cut it out. Cut it out. Suddenly you find so much space in your life. Like, for example, there are things that matter to me. Like, what matters to me as a doctor, as a radiologist, my specialty. I love looking at radiology images, making diagnosis, and but I also love teaching students. So that is the balance I have. But if in addition to this, I waste my time looking at television and Big Boss and all those, TV series and Instagram and all this, so what would happen is if I put my time into all of it, what will happen that my time for the things that I like doing will get compromised. So what I do is I cut out on the clutter. My rule number one for time management is let's cut out on the clutter. Let me help you here. Now, how many times have you seen as a student that you start walking from your lecture theater to the hostel? It is like 500 meter, but you take 3 hours. Why? Because we are talking about that she talked about this, he talked about that, why and all. So we are actually wasting time talking about the people that doesn't matter to me, that don't like me, I don't like them either, and we're trying to just talk about them and wasting time. That is clutter. That is clutter. How many times have you just pick up the phone and only say that, oh my god, exam is coming, it is so bad, life is so bad, and we're just talking 2 hours and wasting time. So can we cut out on the clutter and give time to what really matters? And what matters is actually obvious by the exercise itself. And I saw everybody is saying family, relationships, peace, happiness, career, health. So you already know it. Let's put our time. What is the most precious resource we have as humans? We have time. We need to put our time onto things that matter. You cut out the clutter. Once we cut out the clutter, the time management becomes automatic. Suddenly you find so much time in life. Now, suppose I don't have to watch a full 3 hour movie, that 3 hours is free with me. Okay, but I don't, I don't recommend that you become a mono, like a single track person. It's good to have hobbies. Some of the students said that they are magicians. Some of the students said that they like to play. That's good. It's good to have hobbies, good to have things that really engage you. I believe that they are not clutter. The clutter in your life is talking about others, watching TV series, and not only watching TV series, changing channel for 2 hours is actually clutter. You need to cut it out. So once we understand the clutter, then you will suddenly have so much time for your dreams, because you have time. When you have time, you create things, you will be able to bring out outputs, and you will find joy in what you're doing. And that joy in what you're doing, when you start liking what you're doing, suddenly the work starts to give you more and more output, more and more value, because you are doing what you enjoy and you're enjoying what you're doing. Okay, and then gradually what you're doing would also be, sometimes, like when I'm teaching students, that is a utility to them, it's a passion for me, it's a utility to them. And if what you're doing is utility to others, becomes your purpose, and you start enjoying it. And recently when I was coming back from on a flight, and I came back and I got down on the airport, I meet the students who say, "Sir, you taught me 2 years back, 3 years back." Recently, I was standing on a chemist shop and I was wearing this mask because of the pandemic around, and it's a rule in India too. Everybody has to wear a mask outside. So I was wearing a mask, and then this young lady with a mask on comes in and says, "Sir, I was a student 3 years back." And it feels so good. It feels so good. But all this was not possible if I had put my time into changing channels on Netflix. Okay, you have to put your time with real on what really matters to you. So, in the end, I believe the journey in your life is all about your priorities and the choices that you make. It is about what buttons you click in life. On what choices do you say yes? So, if we are able to somehow find our priorities and put my time onto my priorities, the magic will happen. Magic will happen. I wish you all the best.